Tonight, a police investigation is underway into a threatening letter directed towards Port Lincoln's Indigenous community, and the Broken Hill RSPCA desperately tries to curb a parvovirus outbreak.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with Louise Hedger begins now.
Good evening. There's fears tonight for the safety of Port Lincoln's Indigenous community after a sinister note was left at the local Aboriginal Council. The incident has sparked a full police investigation. A warning, as some viewers may find this story distressing.
This is the note sparking fear and outrage within the Port Lincoln community. A heartless and shocking message put under the front door of the local Aboriginal Council earlier this week.
We have the letter itself and we will investigate and try and identify who it was that authored the letter.
The disturbing note made direct threats to the safety of the local Aboriginal community. An 8-year-old grandson of one of the employees was the first to find the message and read it. It's understood it's not the first threatening note the council has received.
We understand from the council, the plaque staff, that there may have been previous letters. We haven't seen them, but certainly not letters in this style or to this level of anger.
Police are now reviewing CCTV footage and fingerprints left at the scene, trying to track down the note's author. But investigators are today unsure whether any offence has been committed.
There may well be offences under acts such as the Racial Discrimination Act, which have been committed.
The police investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Broken Hill is experiencing an outbreak of the deadly parvovirus, with more than 40 animals treated for it in the last month. The local RSPCA is warning dog owners to get their pets vaccinated as soon as possible and is offering discounted rates for that service this weekend.
From young puppies to long-standing mates, all dogs are susceptible to the sometimes deadly parvovirus.
It's not a very nice thing and people need to be really vigilant about getting their dogs vaccinated.
The Broken Hill Veterinary Clinic has treated 47 animals in the last month alone for suspected parvovirus. In the last week, 5 dogs have been hospitalised.
It is aiming at any dog right now at any age.
Also known as parvo, the virus is highly contagious and affects mainly dogs. The illness is passed through a dog's faeces and can live in the ground for up to 12 months. This veterinary nurse says it's easily transferable and can be fatal.
Off their food, if they are vomiting, if they're having diarrhoea, any of those symptoms, they need to get their dog checked straight away.
The RSPCA is offering $20 vaccinations to pensioners and senior card holders this Saturday, but they are also encouraging all of the city's dog owners to make a booking, issuing a warning around just how serious the virus can be.
We have had one that it was sick the night before and it passed away in the morning out the front of here. We only tested it and it passed away.
The death rate for non-vaccinated puppies is greater than 80%, a simple visit which would save the life of your 4-legged friend. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Eddie Hughes is urging the state government to reconsider the controversial snapper fishing ban. He says a number of recreational fishing council members have resigned amid concerns over the decision.
The long-term snapper ban has caused shockwaves across the fishing industry.
The refusal of the minister to listen to other options and treat people with a degree of respect, and one other person resigned at a earlier stage.
Eddie Hughes says 3 members of the Recreational Fishing Council resigned following the decision.
I've spoken to all of those members that have tendered their resignation and asked them to allow the heat to just settle.
This Whyalla fishing charter is devastated, saying the future is looking dire for the business.
It's catastrophic for my family and my business. We are about to close on November the 1st. The Minister has not offered any compensation for us. He has not talked with us on a personal level.
The state government says it's offering compensation to the charter boat industry.
We've put $500,000 there is a package of support for the charter boat industry and to help them adjust.
But Steve Storick says it's not enough and there's no guarantee that support will reach his business.
There's no level of compensation assisted to help us operators. We are basically left high and dry.
The government says the ban is crucial in order to replenish stocks, but some fisheries are pleading for a review to be made, saying that it needs to be done before the impact hits businesses and fishers.
He's about to close a fishery down based on flawed science. Put the money behind the science, get the science right first, and then make that decision.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, a Corn Art Gallery prepares to host a live music event tomorrow night, and work of up-and-coming artists in Port Pirie showcased. Welcome back. An Aboriginal art gallery in Corn is preparing to host its first live music event with a popular Aussie act headlining the bill. Organisers say it's all part of their plan to transform the space into an art hub.
Art, culture, food and wine, and now live music, all under the roof of this renovated church.
This gallery is an amazing space to have an acoustic set, so it's going to be an intimate space, but at the same time it's going to go off.
Months after launching the Aboriginal Art Gallery, Jonas and Jar Jar Dare are now embarking on their newest venture this Friday, a live gig featuring homegrown talent as well as Melbourne hip-hop product Dylan Joel.
It's going to be exciting, you get to see a lot of amazing art, but also hear some amazing music.
Organisers say they handpicked artists who reflect similar attitudes towards social change. DJ Dre Natakarua strives to play as much Indigenous music as he can.
Doing it at DJ gigs, you don't really hear a lot of them in clubs, so I reckon just changing up that scene would be really good.
We wanted this space to be inclusive of all different age groups, different nationalities.
And before the night has even kicked off, organisers are already focusing on future live music dates. Tickets are available online or at the door. Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The nationwide Mission Songs project is preparing to touch down in Port Augusta tomorrow. It seeks to revive the Indigenous songs sung in missions more than 50 years ago, but which have now been forgotten. The Davenport Mission near Port Augusta was opened in 1937, and organisers are encouraging anyone with stories or songs to get involved. The event will begin at the Cultural Centre at 6 p.m. A 19-year-old man and 17-year-old boy from Port Augusta have been arrested over a spate of robberies in the far north. It's alleged the pair stole tools and a generator worth more than $12,000 during a 2-day crime spree in Roxby Downs. Both were charged with illegal interference and theft and have been bailed to appear in court at a later date. AFD Alliance has welcomed contractor BIS to its site this week as part of an ongoing deal between the two companies. The contract saw 80 new local employees starting at the steelworks on Wednesday. BIS's operations will deliver a range of site projects, including scrap processing, bulk material handling and steel services. The company is also celebrating its 60th year in the Whyalla community. Photos of the world have been put on show at Port Pirie's Art Gallery as part of the Southern Flinders Ranges Photo Festival. The event also providing locals the chance to show off their best work.
Looking through the eye of a lens, a vibrant array of photos from across the world put on show at the front door of the Flinders Ranges.
This area is amazing. There's a lot to offer. That's why I bring the festival over here.
Port Pirie's regional gallery offering locals a visual journey of all four corners of the world.
Like festival is, something and you engage more people. It's not about only international photo contest, it's about the community.
The opportunity to have a specific festival and competition and exhibition event, it was just too good to pass up.
The Southern Flinders Ranges Photo Festival also giving the region a chance to showcase its own talent. The organisers impress of some of the local school entries, with Amy Burgess of St Mark's College taking home the top prize in the junior category.
She took out the top scoring print from the region, and we had entrants from Wilmington right down to Crystalbrook Primary School enter this year.
Take the pictures. Now you have phone. You don't afford camera. Take pictures from the phone.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A local Whyalla 10-pin bowler will be competing in the Australian Master Games this weekend. 77-year-old John Matley will represent South Australia as the flag bearer in the opening ceremony and also compete in the over 75s bowling competition. He says age doesn't matter at the Games.
I don't use the word oldies, I use the word mature. We are the mature, and believe you me, we can enjoy ourselves and have a lot of fun being mature.
Information on the Games can be found online. Stay with us after the break. We'll speak with the experts about whether fish are biting around the region, and we'll have the weather with Britt. Hello again. Now let's see whether fish are biting, starting in Port Pirie.
Welcome another week around the Gulf Fishing Tips from Port Pirie. I suppose over the last week or so we've been talking nothing but snapper. But at the end of the day, I expect there's a few things that are going to come of this. We'll either have a species run, or we'll have some idea of where we're going with that in the future. But you still have a little while to do it, and there's usually around Smelters Picnic Day, there's a great opportunity to catch snapper out on our local drops. So have a go. Keep in mind that we're looking for preservation towards the future. And then when you're out there, don't forget, it's a great time. The blue swimmer crabs are starting to come up, large in size, and you'll also see some beautiful salmon trout. And this time of the year brings our yellowfin. These great hot days will be around the beaches, Talawi and Barrows Beach, so have a shot there. We'll see you next week.
G'day and welcome to this week's Fishing Tips from Port Augusta, Jewel North. Well, a really mixed bag this time of year. There are some really good snook around at the moment, and one tip there to hedge your bets: if you're just trying to get the last lot of squid, just drift along for the squid, but try flicking out sort of a 6 to 8 centimetre lure for the snook, because they will hang around in that type of area as well, around the middle banks. King George whiting starting to slow down a lot now, and the trumpets are really hammering the baits. Bit of a tip there: burley up and cast behind it, and generally you'll pick up a nice one or two. There are some crabs starting to turn up in the shallow water along the front of the shacks. Try the incoming tide in the afternoon. That's all we have from the Jewel of the North.
Hi, Whyallah's fishing tips this week. The blue swimmer crabs are starting to slowly crawl their way into Whyallah. The deeper waters have been best to catch those, especially around the eastern shoal. The northern and the southern end has been producing some nice blue swimmer crabs. There's been some nice crabs in the deeper water around the Fairway Bank as well. A little bit further down south, we're getting some nice whiting around the Cowlitz Landing and down towards Menini, and snapper have been holding up not too bad in around the 10 metre mark between Cowlitz Landing and Menini.
G'day and welcome to Fishing Tips in Port Lincoln. Well, locally in the bay here, there have been a few whiting up along the North Shore, and there's been some nice snook caught over around Boston Island. Out in the Port Lincoln National Park, there's been some nice tommies caught land-based off quite a few of the rocks out there. Down on the south coast between Sleaford and Wanner, there's been some really good salmon caught with quite a few fish up around the 4 kilo mark. Over at Coffin Bay, there's been some salmon trout in the bay system. Whiting and garfish continue to bite well out around the Farm Beach grounds and up towards Frenchman's. And there has been some nice nanagai and school sharks caught on the deeper drops out from Sir Isaac's and up towards Coles Point. Well, that's all for the fishing tips this week. We'll see you again with more tips next week.
Now for a look at the weather for the rest of the week, here's Britt Aylen.
Thanks, Louise. Well, if you think it felt a little bit summery today, just wait until tomorrow. It reached a balmy 33 degrees at Broken Hill today, Port Augusta 30, Port Pirie 27, Whyalla 24, Adelaide 22, Port Lincoln 19. From the satellite, scattered cloud under a ridge of high pressure. Moving ahead to tomorrow, on the waters, southeasterly winds at up to 20 knots with seas around 1 metre, and we can expect the sun to rise at 5 minutes to 6 in the morning. It's looking to be a hot but mostly cloudy day with maximum temperatures jumping up to 15 degrees above average. Port Augusta looking at a top of 39 degrees, Woodner and Cornbo 37, Whyalla 35, Broken Hill, Port Pirie and Cleve all 34, Clare and Kadina 31, Adelaide 30, Coffin Bay 25, Port Lincoln 24. Further ahead through the week, and it's looking to remain hot again on Saturday before a cool change comes through. Maximums much closer to average on Monday. Port Lincoln partly cloudy on Saturday, cloudy on Sunday and into the new week. Cleve with fine and partly cloudy conditions Saturday and Sunday, more cloud cover on Monday. Woodner an expected top of 40 degrees on Saturday, dropping back to a top of 23 on Sunday. Partly cloudy conditions continuing over the coming days. Whyalla looking partly cloudy on Saturday, still unseasonably warm on Sunday with bright and sunny conditions ahead of a fine but cooler start to the new week. Port Augusta with hot gusty winds expected Saturday, looking at a top of 40 degrees. Sunday sunny and 32, back down to the early 20s on Monday. Kadina with fine and partly cloudy conditions through the weekend, also expected to reach 40 on Saturday. Port Pirie looking partly cloudy Saturday, a sunny day on Sunday, Monday fine and partly cloudy. Clare with fine conditions across the weekend and a cloudy start to the new week. Broken Hill looking mostly fine with strong winds expected on Sunday. And Louise, that's it for the forecast. It's back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Britt. And that's your local news this Thursday evening. Thank you for joining us today. We'll have updates later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.